Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. So we're picking back up shortly after last episode. I did get this second modular machine set up. Nothing very difficult. Crafting components, we did have to make 4 64Ks. Not a problem, our system can handle that without an issue. I also prepped up a couple things you'll see in my inventory, a few things here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be automating these. We're going to be automating the Advanced Carpenter and Advanced Thermionic Fabricator. So first and foremost, the very first thing that we need to do is we need to set up power. As simple as that. It's not, there's not very much to it. Right over here, of course, this side we're not going to use. This is machine gearbox. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a dedicated power cell for each one. So right here we have reinforced energy input hatch. Let's go ahead and just drop a power cell right there. We're going to say output and link it, and there we go. That one has power, and then over here, if you recall, the energy input is on top of it. So we'll pop right up here. Big energy input hatch. If you recall, I had to make a larger one for this one because we need 100,000 RF per tick input. Now each power cell per side, it can output 100,000 RF per tick. So that's perfect. We'll go ahead and say out and link, and there we go. We now have energy in each of these. Now bear in mind that if I'm running something that takes 100,000 RF per tick right now, if I'm running that just nonstop, it is going to drain our power cell, but we do have a fairly large buffer, so it shouldn't be an issue, I don't think. Shouldn't be. So that's taken care of. Energy, not a problem. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to handle fluid input and item input, and then item output. I guess we'll start with item output. So we've got a normal item output right here, and then over here we have another normal item output. And for this, we're just going to do something very, very simple. Just to reduce on the amount of cables that we've got, we're just going to get ourselves just a couple ender chests. Let me order one more of these. Okay, I need Ardite. Let me pop into the nether. I actually know where some's at. I've seen it. I just haven't mined it because I was lazy. I was actually in the nether between episodes farming up a bit of nether quartz because we ran out because I was actually crafting. That's one thing I need to show you. If you recall, last episode we filled up all of our molecular assemblers. I was dealing with that. It was somewhere about in here. Well, now that I'm looking for it, I won't be able to find the one that I'd actually found. There was like 3. Somewhere around in here there was like 3 right there together, but of course since I didn't grab it then, I'll never be able to find it. So I'll just fly around and see if I can find some Ardite. So it tends to be pretty common. So okay, there's 3 pieces. That'll be fine for now. I need to make a note to go out and farm up a little bit of that at some point. Okay, there's our 2 ender chests, and then let's also grab 2 diamonds. We can leave them on the white color. That's fine. Let's pop up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up one right here. We'll put it right there, and we'll go ahead and diamond lock this, and then I've got some impulse item ducts here that I made. Of course these are just glowstone ran through item ducts, not a problem. And we're going to go ahead and put down impulse item duct and a servo, and we're going to say ignore. So we can just pull out items, dump them into the ender chest, and there we go. And then the same thing over on this side. I know it's a little bit dark, but I'm literally just doing the exact same thing that we just did. There we go. That's taken care of. Okay, so there's item output. Item output and energy is done. Now we have to handle feeding in items, which is simple. Feeding in fluids. That's actually simple, but there's a little bit more to it. Okay. Okay, but we're going to start with the Thermionic Fabricator. It's actually a whole lot easier because the only liquid that it ever requires is liquid glass. That's it. So what we're going to do is let's do something, just an example recipe. I think machine frames, we have those stocked, yeah. So we're not going to be making those. I'm just going to set up like one recipe here so you guys can see how it works. And then that should be good, I think. We'll do ender electron tubes, and we'll also do apatine electron tubes because we're going to need both of these. Precision assembler to make basic circuit plates, and the ender ones we need for combination crafting to make resonant cell frame fulls. Okay, so the Ender Electron tubes, these are both 1,000 millibuckets. For these, it's going to be 5 Apatite, 2 Redstone, 5 Endstone, 2 Eyes of Ender for these. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves 5 Endstone, 2 Eyes of Ender, 2 Redstone, and then 5 Apatite. Okay. And we're going to set up a recipe here. We're also going to need a little bit of sand as well. And we're going to set up a quick recipe and say that if you send sand, let me grab one more piece of that, 5 Apatite, 2 Redstone. If you send that, then we'll pop up here. There's our fluid input hatch. There is our item input hatch. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our interface setting right here. We're actually going to have both of our inputs, our item inputs sitting kind of back like that. We're going to set up a melter. See, there's our fluid input hatch. Item input. We're going to set a melter like right here. This is going to need power. I'll figure out how I want to run that over. And let's go ahead and dump in our 10 speed upgrade so it's super fast. It is going to be 22,000 RF per tick. That's fine. That's not a problem. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up impulse item ducts right here. And these are going to, let's go ahead and set up another set right here. It's going to come out. This is for the item input system. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up dense impulse item duct right there. So that way it basically takes more, it's a lower priority for stuff to go this way than for it to go this way. And then we'll just, we'll run this out like that with the regular impulse item ducts. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just right click the back of this so it'll face down. We're going to need a chest that goes right there. We'll get that in just a second. And then right here, we're going to add a filter onto this melter. And we are going to whitelist sand. Okay, so only sand can come through here. And then, let me actually open this up a little bit here so I can get behind all of this. Okay, our energy, we're just going to plug into that. We're going to run some energy conduits over so the melter has power. And then right here, we're going to add a chest that this interface is going to feed down into. I do have to plug all this up. I'm going to get some cables here in just a second. And we're going to attach a servo right there. We're going to say ignore redstone signal. And then I am going to need a fluid input. Okay, we'll just do a pressurized fluid conduit. It's just going to feed up like that. It's going to extract, always active. Okay, so what's going to happen is the sand's going to come out. It's going to go here because higher priority, since this has the dense item duct. And then everything else will go off in this direction to our normal item input. So then we'll go ahead and dump our sand in there. It's going to melt. And if we take a look in here, we have 2,000 millibuckets of liquid glass. Okay. And then over here, if we dump in our Eyes of Ender and our Endstone, and we give it just a second, there we go. They get pulled out, and it should have crafted them into, you know, whatever. The, the end things. Oh, I was wanting to make the Apatite ones. That's fine. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. So we'll dump that and that into there. And if we pop over, I don't think we'll make it in time, but if we pop over, yeah, it's already finished it. You can see a percentage if it's crafting, but if we take a look here at Apatine, we've got 4 Apatine Electron tubes. And we'll just dump it right into there, encode, and then we need the 5 Endstone and the 2 Eyes of Ender. And we'll just kind of change this recipe out real quick. And then we'll just add these to the interface. There we go. And when I was looking through, I think the main thing, unless there's just like some odd and end thing that we might end up automating or something, I think the main thing we're going to add to this for recipes is probably like garden cloches. Those 2 electron tubes that we just made, I'll probably add flexible casings just for completion's sake. There's not much that they make. I don't even know if I'll add them for completion sake, because it's mainly these managed farms, which I don't see us really using. But then also the resonant cell frames we're going to need. So once we automate like the hardened Enderium glass, the Lumium, all this stuff, then we'll add that in. So we add 8 sand and those things, and we can get resonant cell frames. So not very difficult. So let me run some cables and connect this up. I'm actually just going to connect it pretty much through the wall here, I think. And there we go. Okay, so that's connected up. And then if we pop down here and we take a look at our electron tubes, I should be able to order the apatine. So if I was to order, say, 20 of those. Okay, we had 4, so we should have 24 once this is done. If we pop over and we take a look, you can say, there we go. You can see the progress is like shooting through. Basically, it has to wait for the items to come in and the fluids to come in. That's what it's waiting on. So, I don't know if it's already done. I think it's probably pretty quick about it. I'm assuming so. So, let's pop down here. Let's see. Yeah, we have 24 apatine electron tubes. It's that simple. Thermionic Fabricator is done. Okay, and then for the Advanced Carpenter, there's a little bit more involved with it. I did go through and look, and the liquids that we're going to need to pretty much automate everything that we're going to want from this is going to be liquid DNA, which we've already got that, being created. We're also going to need primal mana, water, liquefied coal, sewage, and seed oil. Those 6 different liquids all being able to feed into the Advanced Carpenter to make everything that we're going to want to make. Okay, so what we're going to do, I went ahead and ran a P2P line over to here. And this is going to be the start of our fluid wall, okay? Eventually, we're going to have even more fluids, but for right now, this is going to be the start. And basically, what we're going to do is, let's pop down here. And we are going to, I think I'm going to do all my crafting, instead of using the fluid terminal and all that to do the fluid crafting, I think we're going to do our fluid crafting a little bit differently, and then... Let me remove this. We will still eventually add storage buses to this so we can monitor how much fluid is in there from the AE system. But I think for the crafting, we're going to be using fluid tanks from Ender.io for this. And it's mainly whenever we're moving specific amounts, what that's going to be for. So what we're going to do is we are going to, let's go ahead and grab this. This is liquid DNA. We'll go ahead and snag that, and we're going to set this up, like liquid DNA is going to sit right here. And then we're going to have, basically this is going to be 3 tall. Yeah, let's bring this out like right there. Let me go grab a cable anchor, because I don't want that to connect. And the reason I'm bringing it out, it's not going to matter for what we're doing today, but that's for future plans for this. We'll just put a cable anchor right there. But I want to be somewhat cautious with going like just full liquid AE2 because, extra sales used to have a lot of issues with going heavy with fluids. And I haven't extensively played with the new liquid system with AE2 integrated, or it being integrated, into AE2. So I kind of want to be a little bit cautious with that. But let's go ahead and we're going to add an interface setting right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just right-click the back of that interface. So it's facing off in this direction. And then let's go ahead and open up like this. And this. This is going to be 7 wide. And it will use 8 channels. Okay, so we'll have that interface setting there. We're going to have another one setting, realistically, we're going to have interface there. And let me go get a couple more interfaces. I'm just going to grab like 10. It's more than what we need, but that's fine. And this will be something that we'll be moving into really heavily here soon is like liquids, because we haven't done a whole lot with liquids. And we're kind of getting to that point where we're going to need to start doing some stuff with liquids. But it's all pretty simple. But we will start moving into that pretty heavily here fairly soon. Especially with mods like Nuclear Craft and stuff, we're going to be doing a lot of liquid work as the series progresses. So, okay, so we got our 7 interfaces there. Really, I don't know if I'm going to need... I might need 7. I'm going to set up 7 and then we'll see. So we've got liquid DNA set right there. I'm going to make a couple I don't know if I want to make drums or like signal them tanks or... See, iron drums, stone drums. This takes stone burnt, which is easy, but I actually think I'd rather go with the tanks, though. The basic portable tanks. I feel like these look a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a portable tank, like, right here. And then we're going to just right-click that. It's going to automatically output liquid DNA into this portable tank. So that's that. The only thing I didn't think about is my ender tanks are going to be able to interact with one another, which is not ideal. So I actually might put my ender tank setting right there. That way I can use conduits to move it up. Or, you know, fluid ducts or whatever. There. And we're just going to do that and ignore redstone. And there we go. It's going to pull all the liquid DNA out and send it into this portable tank. Okay, and then we'll do another portable tank that's going to set... see, we'll have one that sets right here. We'll have another one that sets right here. We'll kind of work off in this direction, then work off in this direction. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have fluid duct. Let's go ahead and break that off. Fluid duct. Break that off. And I should probably just go ahead and put in all of these just because we can. Okay, so there we go. We've got some fluid ducts set down. This next one over here, let's see. Let's go ahead and do water because we're going to be using water quite a bit. And then we'll do seed oil. And that's probably what I'll do on camera. And then setting up the rest of these will just be something that we do as time goes on. So seed oil, we're going to need to set up a squeezer. And we're going to need to automate this squeezer. This is where the 8th channel comes in. Because we're going to have, of course, 7 channels with these interfaces. We'll have an 8th channel that runs off of the squeezer. So what we'll do is we're just going to put our squeezer right there. This is going to need a little bit of power. Actually, let me move... I have a better idea. Let me move this squeezer to right there, in fact. And let me toss down a torch just so we have a little bit more lighting here. Let's run our cables over like this. And then let me go ahead and grab this tank. We're going to set that one up right there. Okay, so let's go grab ourselves an export bus. We'll want one of these. And then we are going to want seeds. I guess we're just going to go with standard wheat seeds. Yeah, that's fine. We're just going to do regular, just Minecraft seeds. That should be fine. Because these things, you tend to get a lot of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our export bus setting right here. And we're going to toss in seeds. And it'll start exporting. So there we go. And then right down here, we're going to need to set up some kind of power system. Let's just grab this power cell. And we're going to set this up just right there. Okay, so this has got power. It's starting to run. Awesome. And you can see it should, without any export or without any speed upgrades, it should be able to keep up just fine. So it's making seed oil, and then what we're going to do is just add a reinforced servo right there, and ignore, and it's going to pump up seed oil into this portable tank. There we go. So seed oil is being created, and then what we're going to do is this portable tank, we're going to get a water storage, or a water, infinite water, and I've actually got one here, a dense. That's going to cover pretty much all of our water needs for everything. So we're just going to set that up right there. It shouldn't be able to auto output any water into this, because this shouldn't accept water. And then what we'll do is, yeah, we don't even have to put a servo on that. It's automatically pumping into the hardened fluid duct, and it's going into the portable tank, and it's filling that up. So, yay, we have water now. Okay, so that's pretty much that. And then we'll add in, other fluids. I'm probably going to add, well, I will add definitely liquefied coal, primal mana, and sewage to this, and then something else, like a 7th liquid that we may need for a similar type system to this. It might be lava, it might be something else, I don't know. Okay, so then what we're going to do, let's get ourselves, actually 2 fluid tanks should be good. We'll get 8 fluid tanks for right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to put down fluid tank, fluid tank, fluid tank, fluid tank, fluid tank, fluid tank, fluid tank. Just right across like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up this one. We're going to say that you pull from the bottom. You push pull from the back. And then this one you can pull from the bottom. And you push pull out the back. And then lastly, this one over here, same thing. Pull from the bottom, push pull out the back. Okay, so these are starting to fill up. These are just going to be small, little 16,000 millibucket buffers. Nothing too crazy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a quick recipe here. We're going to say universal fluid cells. I did try these out. I did test these out. To see if they work like buckets. Can I say just send a water universal fluid cell to a recipe? It does not work. Okay, so we're not going to be able to use them like we would buckets. So there's our universal fluid cells. We're going to set up a processing pattern and say if you send a universal fluid cell, and we can do the same thing with like buckets, if we want to. But if you send that over here to this interface that's connected up to this fluid tank with the water, if you send one over here, you're going to get a universal fluid cell water. And it automatically pushes out into that ME interface. And then let's go ahead and do another one that does, seed oil is not filled up yet. Which technically that could be an issue, but I don't think it's going to be because all these different fluids are going to fill up like pretty quickly. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. That'll make us a universal fluid cell with water in it. And we'll go ahead and encode. And the reason we're going with universal fluid cells instead of buckets is because they will stack. That's very important for what we want to do here, is we want to make sure that they'll stack. And let's go ahead and do one for liquid DNA. So there's how you get liquid DNA into a universal fluid cell. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add these recipes in. This is the one that does water, so we're going to add in the water universal fluid cell. This one over here does the liquid DNA, so we'll add that in. That does have 1,000 millibuckets in it, so we could add universal fluid cell. Oh, by the way, I did add these here. So we've got 2 more molecular assembler lines for a total of 6 full setups of those. Okay, so all 3 of those are plugged up now. So let's pop back downstairs, and we're going to set up a quick recipe here. Our very first recipe for the Thermionic, or the Carpenter. So what do we want to start with? I will say things like impregnated casings and impregnated sticks and stuff like that, we're going to be making multiples. So for the example of impregnated casings, they take 125 millibuckets. We're going to be moving everything in full buckets worths. So what we're going to do is, in that case, 125 millibuckets. So you're going to be able to make 8 impregnated casings with 1 fluid cell. And then over here with the impregnated sticks, you're going to be able to make 20 impregnated sticks for 50 millibuckets of seed oil. So in the normal Carpenter, it's 2 pieces of wood for 2 impregnated sticks, but in this, it's 50 for 1. But it uses planks instead. It actually comes out to be slightly cheaper, I guess. I'll tell you what, we're going to start with the 5,000 water for the different circuit boards. I think that's a good starting point because we are going to need, all these different circuit boards. There's also this one as well. Right now we'll start with these first 3. So if you take 5,000 millibuckets of water, a 10 ingot, and 2 redstone, and you take, I'm actually going to need to order 4 more of these. Okay, so there's our universal fluid cells. It kind of lagged up there a second. If you take 5 of those, 2 redstone, and a 10 ingot, you're going to get, I don't think I actually have any of these circuits made at the moment. I do actually. I have the basic one, which is what we're making. So that's going to make a basic circuit board. I think it just makes 1, right? Yeah, just makes 1. And then we'll encode that. Okay, and then if you take, the enhanced takes bronze and 2 redstone, and you get the enhanced. Okay, so let's get ourselves, let me dump that, pull that out. We'll just replace the bronze into there. Let's see, let's go ahead and set this up now. We've got our first recipe and we need to make the enhanced one. So what we're going to do, let's pop back. Oh, I can't go through there. Let me just dig. Let me dig a little shortcut here for right now. Over here, what we're going to do is we're going to set up, there's our fluid input hatch, there's our item input hatch. We're going to have our interface, our actual interface is going to be setting, let's see, let's put it setting right here. Okay, so it's going to send its items up into a chest, kind of similar to what we did over here. And then what we're going to do is, let me actually dig this out a little bit. We are going to have a impulse item duct setting right here. And we're going to set up a fluid, let's see, that's the fluid input hatch. We're going to set up our fluid tank right here. That's going to connect over. We're going to add a reinforced servo right here. We're going to say that you ignore redstone. We're going to put our first resonant filter setting right here. And we're going to say that you are going to whitelist universal fluid cell, ignore metadata, ignore MBT data. And that should be good. So basically it should be able to send any kind of fluid cell. Anything that goes with the 4700 item ID. So, and then we'll add in impulse item ducts right here. Let's go ahead and break that off. Let's see, we'll bring these over like that. And over here we're going to have a resonant filter setting right there, and we're going to blacklist universal fluid cells, and we're going to ignore metadata, ignore MBT data, and that should be good. Let's see, we've got some hardened fluid ducts. We're going to go ahead and just run these over like that, and they're going to feed into this fluid input hatch, and we're going to add our reinforced servos right there. We're going to say ignore redstone, and that will allow the fluid to get pumped over to here. And then we're going to add in impulse item ducts. I actually didn't make quite enough. I'm one short, but this should be okay. We're going to wrench that, and we'll just do a dense item duct. That's fine. It's going to plug into there. And we're going to say that you can push, which will be these bottom slots here. Basically, once it takes the universal fluid cell and it empties it, it's going to dump it down into there. And then we'll go ahead and add our recipe into this interface. And let's see, I think everything else is set up at the moment. So, for example, if we were to add in our 5 universal fluid cells, we should see, there they go. They're going in here and they're creating water, and then the universal fluid cells are getting sent back into the interface and dumped back into the system. We look over here, we have 5,000 millibuckets of water in there. Which actually, I just realized something. We might need a larger, I didn't think about this, but I think we will actually, for some of these recipes, we might need a larger item or fluid intake. Because I think some of these take more than 5,000 millibuckets. I could be wrong. But I think that some of them do. I don't know. So far, it's 5,000 millibuckets on everything. Okay, maybe it's the Thermionic Fabricator that needs more. Yeah, liquid glass. For the Thermionic Fabricator, we are going to eventually need at least one capable of 8,000 millibuckets, which would be, which it'll be a little while before we need that. But if we take a look here, we're just using this one. If we just upgrade to the reinforced, which is a fluid laser relay, not a problem. Then we can upgrade it. We can have plenty of millibuckets for our needs. So, one thing I do need to do, and I will do this, is I actually need to add a filter to this and blacklist sand. Because if this, maybe we order so much that it backs this up, and you know it's taking a little while to process it, I don't want the sand then to get filtered over to this input. So we will end up adding a filter to that and just blacklisting sand. But kind of like what we did over here, you know, we blacklisted the universal fluid cells. Okay, but then if we were to add the bronze and the redstone, those should get pulled out. There we go. They're getting pulled out. There goes the bronze. There goes the redstone. If we give it just a second, it'll get pulled out. There we go. So that is working. And if we pop down here now, we should have a circuit board. I've got to work on lag, I think. Some system got set up at some point somewhere that's like super laggy. It could be one of mine. I don't know. I'll find out. But okay, so there's an enhanced circuit board. And then if we were to add in the refined circuit board, that's just iron and redstone. So let's just alternate this recipe out. Iron, and then I'm going to need the 2 redstone, and I'm going to need the 5 universal cells. And then what we'll do, all we have to do is just add all this stuff into there. And it's going to get pulled out. It's going to go to the respective places. There goes the water. And it's filling that up. And then if we pop over to here, let me actually eat something here. If we take a look inside of here, yeah, I'm going to have to see what's causing all that lag. We have a refined circuit board. And then we'll just add these into there. And that part's set up. And really quickly, let me go ahead and add this filter to that. And we're going to say blacklist sand. So you can't accept any sand over there, whereas this has sand whitelisted. So, okay, so really quickly, let's go ahead and automate our impregnated stuff. And then we'll order some of that stuff and see if everything works good. So impregnated sticks, for example. Let's go ahead and grab our universal fluid cell that has the seed oil in it. We'll toss that in there. These were 2 planks makes, and 50 makes 1. Okay, so we're going to need 20, 40 planks. So what we'll do is we'll just set up the recipe to mimic that. So if you take 40 oakwood planks and a universal fluid cell filled with seed oil, then you are going to get 20 impregnated sticks. Because we want to make sure that there's no overflow. And then let's grab just the oak wood. And let's check the impregnated casing recipe. This is 4 wood, 125 millibuckets, and you get an impregnated casing. So we're going to need 8 crafts of this at once. And that's going to be 16. So if you take 16 wood, you're going to get 8 impregnated casings. Is that really all it takes? I'm just surprised. It's so much cheaper running it through there. It's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, that's it. So, cool. And then we'll just encode. There we go. Okay. So, we'll pull up our circuit. We still have to do the 4th circuit. We will add that in. So, I just have to go down. I have to automate the final tier. We've got the Empower automated. I just have to set up the recipe for the final circuit tier. You know, the ultimate tier. Okay, so that's set up. So if I was to order, say, impregnated casing or impregnated sticks, let's order one of these. It's going to say, well, no, I'm going to craft 20 at a time, 40 planks, universal fluid cell. We'll go ahead and order that. And we had like 90 something in there. If we pop up here and we take a look, it may have already crafted them or might not have crafted them yet. I don't know. Chances are it's probably already crafted them, I would think. We have 114. Awesome. So that is working. If we take a look, we actually have quite a bit of seed oil already. 4,800 seed oil. So this thing's kicking through. And we're actually going to be speeding this up. Maybe next episode or something. I don't know. So then if we were to order, say, some circuits. Let's order 2 of these. We have 1 of each at the moment. Let's order 2 of these. And let's order 2 of these. And one thing I do want to do is I want to, it's not really going to do a whole lot in truth, but let's go ahead and set this to blocking mode. Just in case we order a big variety of stuff or something, I don't know. Chances are what it's going to be waiting on is the water. You can see it's kicking those universal fluid cells through here, but this thing doesn't extract water the fastest in the world. So one thing that I'm actually considering doing is... instead of it only pulling water that way, I think I have another water source. That's only 20 millibuckets. I'll see about upgrading this, but maybe we'll stick this maybe right there to help fill it up a little bit faster. But I think I would like to have maybe a dense infinite water source right there. So, and right now it's not pushing this yet. I don't know, fluid tank might not be the best way to go. Especially for the water, because we eat through so much of it. But at the same time, how much are we really going to be ordering? This stuff, probably not all that much. Oh, I forgot this is turned on. I was working on that lag system and I put signs down. So, and I actually used one of my reinforced servos, didn't replace it, don't care. It was basically what was causing the lag was improperly set up matter fabricator. So I just had to fix that. But I mean, mainly we're going to be making these circuit boards as far as using the water, which is where we use a lot of this stuff. Bog earth we're probably not going to be making. There's circuit board, circuit board, circuit board. Hummus we're not going to be making. Hardened casings we'll make, but it's few and far between. If we even are going to need these anymore, I don't even know. Ducts automated the replication. We're not going to be making any more thermionic fabricators, chances are. So honestly, we are probably not going to even need hardened casings anymore at this point. So I think it's mainly the circuit boards. And the main use for circuit boards is going to be this right here. This is for making quantum entangloporters, machine circuitry. But main thing we'll be doing is this right here, which is a neutron collector. So if it takes a second to craft a neutron collector, I don't think it's going to be any major loss. There's also these advanced circuit plates, and we're going to be using this to upgrade our squeezer. And that's about it. So does it matter? I don't know. If worse comes to worse and we need to change it, we will. But we'll play it by ear. But anyways, if we take a look here, we have 3 enhanced circuit boards, 3 refined circuit boards, and then we have this. I don't know, it's basically this has been changed somehow. I've done something with it, it's changed it, is what it is. But I've got 3 of these. So, the only thing, okay, it says no crafting jobs active. So it is proper. But it did get all the circuit boards and it crafted them. 2 of each. And it really didn't take that long. I mean, I know I was rambling for a second, but I think if we add in like another infinite water source just for something like that, if I'm ordering a lot of circuit boards, you know, it can craft it. But honestly, I think it's going to be plenty fast for our needs. So, because once it hits this, it crafts it like instant, you know. But if I find that I need to upgrade the speed or something, you know, I can always do that. There's other ways to do this. Just this is kind of a low maintenance, no power cost kind of a thing. But I could do fluid transposers or, you know, something to that effect if need be. And one thing I would like to do before we end out the episode is let's pop over to the jungle. We haven't been over here in a little while. Right here, what do we have? I bet it's going to be massive because I did upgrade these bees. Yeah, there's quite a few combs here. Let's grab all of these. And honestly, I can probably unload this chunk. I'll keep it claimed in case we ever do need some more of those or whatever. But chances are we won't. And let's just pop down to the bee area. And this centrifugal separator. This thing just feeds into the white line. Let's just dump. No, really, I need to dump like all of these into there. It's going to take a second. I have full speed in there at the moment. Okay, I'll tell you what, just to speed this up, make it a little bit more like kind of automatic, I'm going to say you can input from this side. Normally I don't suggest using hoppers, but I'm the only person that's on right now, so I'm just going to dump those into there and let them process through. Chances are the hopper's not even going to move stuff fast enough to keep the centrifugal separator running constant, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and grab our silk wisp. Okay, so it's going to start crafting our woven silk for us. And let me take a look here. We've got a little bit more silky propolis. This thing's like so expensive. We made I think it was the boots that we made before. And since we're kind of wrapping down forestry, I will say there's going to be one thing that we're going to quickly go over next episode. Just, you know, really quick kind of a thing. That is forestry related, but after that, I mean, we're pretty much done. I mean, it's basically just a matter of adding in recipes and automating all the things. You know, what's funny is crafting this will have taken almost all the jungle combs that we had, though. Like, it's so expensive. It really is. Let's go ahead and I'm pretty much done with that, I think. at this point. I'm going to fix that back. And there's our woven silk. Okay, I'm going to pull this up because I actually don't need this stuff anymore. This can go, and let's make our apiarist hat. And quest complete, apiarist armor. Done. Forestry, this quest, loot chest, done. Okay, so forestry is now 100%. So industrial craft is done, forestry is done, immersive engineering is done, thermocraft is done. Next up will be astral sorcery, as far as next on the list anyways. And then we got a block of fiery metal. Okay, not terribly great because we already have enough to make the seed, which we're going to be getting into magical crops here fairly soon. And I'm just going to put this armor into here for now. I'm probably going to end up putting it on the armor stand, but for right now, just dump it into there. And yeah, so next episode, I will say we are going to spend about the first 2 minutes on something forestry related. That kind of ties into some of the stuff that we did today, sort of. Basically, we needed the stuff that we did today for what we're going to be doing at the start of next episode. But I do have to do just a small amount of automation. Basically just adding in recipes for stuff that we've already covered before we do that. But yeah, so this is going to cover most all of our forestry stuff. And then we'll have the squeezer. And I mean, that's pretty much all of forestry that we need automated within those 2 blocks. So next episode, after we cover the very brief amount of forestry that we're going to cover, we are going to switch gears into, I'm thinking, I don't know for sure yet. We are either going to move back into Thermcraft. You know, basically they changed some stuff on us, so we have to go over the changes to Thermcraft. So we might move into that next episode, or we might do a little bit of Psi and go ahead and just cover that mod and how it works. I'm not for sure yet. It'll probably be one of those 2, or Astro Sorcery maybe, or miscellaneous automation. I don't know. It could be a numerous amount of things. I don't know for sure what it's going to be, but it'll be something. So I will say that extra utilities, mechanism, and actually additions, we're going to knock those out fairly quickly. Unless we do a rainbow gen. I've done those in the past. We probably might do a rainbow gen. I don't know. We'll see. They're a little bit OP, but because we're kind of focusing on nuclear craft. But we will be going back to nuclear craft here fairly soon, and doing a little bit of automation for another reactor. And we'll actually probably finish out that entire quest line pretty quickly as well as going back to Britannia here soon. But anyways, we'll find out what we're going to do next episode. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.